Welcome back to another episode of our baking series, Baking Until We Make It. Today we are going to be practicing how to make red velvet cake. Now, we have done a practice of chocolate cake before. That was the first cake that we are making on this channel. Alright, I first went in with egg, milk, oil. I went in with a cup and half of oil. And then I went in with the vanilla, half teaspoon of vinegar, and also half teaspoon of baking soda and half tablespoon of baking powder. So I'm just mixing all this together. Then the next thing I did, I put in my dry ingredients, which is the flour, cocoa powder, and also I used the dry form of the red food coloring. So I mix that together also. So I'm just going to be sieving out our flour just to prevent any lumps or solid flour that might seep into this. We don't want that, okay? So I am sieving it, and after sieving 3 cups of flour, I whisked that together, and I noticed it was becoming very thick, which was not what I was going for. Yeah, I'm just going in with my half teaspoon of food coloring. Then I'm also going in with the cocoa powder, and I'm just going to whisk this all up together. And see, I noticed it's becoming very thick, which is beyond what I actually expected. So I used hot coffee. According to the recipe, I had hot coffee kind of help activate the ingredient, especially if you're using vinegar in your cake ingredient. So you can use hot milk, hot anything, but it doesn't matter. It's not necessarily have to be coffee. I think coffee is majorly when you're using chocolate, when you're baking chocolate cake. Now, I noticed this was very thick, way too thick than what I expected, and I was confused at some point. So I decided to go in with half cup of groundnut oil, and that makes that 2 cups of groundnut oil for this cake. And it was still thick, so I went to boil some milk. I didn't know if to add water, but I felt like I don't think I've seen anyone adding water in cake before, so I decided to boil up some milk, and I just kept on adding the milk bit by bit. You can see the milk is very hot. I kept adding that milk bit by bit until I get the perfect consistency I was going for. So this is what I have now. The next thing I'll be putting into this our cake is this coconut flakes. This coconut flakes, actually I bought it for something else, but I decided to go in with it for this cake. I whisk that up together, and this is what we have. Now about this parchment paper, so you're supposed to place the parchment paper in your pan so that the cake, it's easy for the cake to leave the pan when you want to remove it. Guys, you already know I'm literally learning everything. You can see the way I'm struggling with this parchment paper. I did not know how to turn it. Like, how did I arrive at that perfect circle? So that was what I was trying to do. I was just doing anything at this point. Like, okay, I know that I'm going to arrive at something. So one thing about me is that once I watch the recipe, I just watch it once, and whatever it is I get from there, it's kind of difficult for me to like be filming at the same time, cooking, and then still going back to the reference video where I got the recipe from. So once I watched it once, I just go with my head like, okay, whatever comes out, it comes out. It's a mistake, then it's a mistake. There's nothing I can do about it. And I'm going to learn. That's going to teach me to learn and to also improve in my next video. So voila, this is what I got. I was surprised when I opened it and it gave me the perfect cycle. I'm like, oh, I was actually stressing about this in a minute. So it didn't give me the perfect, the correct measurement for this particular pan. So I just took it back, fold it all over again, and then cut out a little bit, and it was good to go. So I'm adding some butter to the pan. It's going to help ease the removal of the cake once it's ready. So after I rubbed in my butter, I just put in my parchment paper, and now I'm going in with my cake batter. At this point, I don't know what level the cake batter should be. Learning from the first cake video we made, and we realized how a cake actually swells up when it's baking. So I decided to be careful about this, so I didn't want to fill it up too much, and I gave it enough room. So I don't know if this is going to be enough, but like I said, we are on trial. Okay, so I left it and I just tapped it. I still haven't gotten the reason why we do tap our cake on the table like this. I don't know why. So now I'm just moving to my local oven. You already know how I make this oven. I put salt in a pot, and then I go in with my gas head, and I make sure that I've already heated up this pot so it's hot already. So I just covered it with an aluminum foil, make a little bit of I don't know why that, but I'm just gonna make it their way. And then I covered it with another before covering it with the pot cover, and that was it. I didn't open it till after a while. So the leftover batter, I am going to be making use of my air fryer for this. So I just place the parchment paper in my silicone plates, and I'm putting that into my air fryer, and I bake this time at 160 degree for just 20 minutes. Now I'm going back to check my cake, the one from our local oven, and I just took a skewer and put that in. I noticed it was still wet, so I covered it back and left it to cook for another few minutes, and then when I came back to it, it was ready to go. Now this is our cake from the air fryer. It didn't take long to cook at all. I think maybe because the butter wasn't even that much to begin with. Now I went back to our cake from the local oven, and this is what we have. Guys, I am so proud of myself. This cake came out perfect. It came out more than the way I actually expected. I'm surprised on my second try of making cake, I can actually come out with this. And another thing I noticed that actually helped this my cake making was the fact that I got the right instrument, I got the right tools. Unlike our first video where we didn't really have all the proper measurements, there was a lot of mistake. So I got a measurement cup, I got a pan, all these things. I think it actually contributed to the success of this particular cake, and I'm so proud of myself. Yes, when it comes to the taste, I feel like I still need to work on the amount of sugar I use, the amount of oil. I still need to be perfect in that, but we're getting there. Look at the face of this cake, how beautiful it is. I'm so proud of myself. Now tell me how I did in the comment section, guys. This cake is so fluffy, and the cake was okay, but it wasn't as sweet as you would expect a cake to be. So yes, I'm going to be working on that, and aside from that, every other thing came out perfectly. The cake was fluffy, it was yummy, it didn't get burnt, it didn't overswell. I'm so proud of myself for this. I want you guys to rate me in the comment section. Tell me how I did in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in another one. Bye guys.